Hello students, this is Nishanti from Pon Vidyashram. Hope you are doing good. Stay home, stay safe. Welcome back to the next physics class. Today I am going to start a new chapter, chapter 3, motion in a straight line. See, motion is a common to everything in the universe. Motion in a straight line is also called rectilinear motion. It involves no change in direction, so its study is relatively very simple. See, under this chapter, we are going to study motion of object either along x-axis or along y-axis. Students, these are the contents of this video: introduction, point object, reference systems, total path length, types of motion, displacement, factors distinguishing displacement from distance, uniform speed and uniform velocity, variable speed and variable velocity, average speed and average velocity. An object is said to be in motion if its position changes with time. Mechanics is a branch of physics in which we study the motion of objects. There are three branches of mechanics that examine the motion of an object, such as statics, kinematics, and dynamics. Statics, it's a branch of mechanics in which we study the objects at rest. In statics, time factor does not play any role. Kinematics, it describes the motion of objects without looking at the cause of the motion. Here, time factor plays an important role. Whereas in dynamics, it relates the motion of objects to the forces which cause them. The time factor also plays an important role. Students, now we'll see about point object. If the length covered by the objects are very large in comparison to the size of the objects. I repeat, if the length covered by the objects are very large in comparison to the size of the objects are considered point objects. In other words, an object is considered as point object if the size of the object is much smaller than the distance it moves in a reasonable duration of time. For example, a train under a journey of several hundred kilometers can be regarded as a point object. Earth can be regarded as a point object for studying its motion around the sun. Next we'll see about reference system or frame of reference. We choose a rectangular coordinate system of three mutually perpendicular axes as x, y, and z. The point of intersection of these three axes is called origin O and considered as a reference point. The x, y, and z coordinates describes the position of the object with respect to the coordinate system. To measure time, we need a clock. This coordinate system along with the clock constitutes a frame of reference. So, the frame of reference is a coordinate system with a clock with respect to which an observer can describe the position, displacement, acceleration of an object. Frame of reference are of two types. They are inertial frame of reference and non-inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference. See, these are the frames of reference in which Newton's first law of motion is applicable. Whereas non-inertial frame of reference, these are the frame of reference in which Newton's first law of motion is not applicable. Path length or distance. The length of the path covered by an object in a given time interval is known as path length or distance travelled. Its SI unit is meter. Okay, we'll see a small example. See, imagine students, a scooter is moving along a straight line AB, covers a distance of 360 meters in 24 seconds and returns back from B to C and covers 240 meters in 18 seconds. So what will be the total path length covered by the scooter? Yes, so total path length is equal to AB plus BC. So 360 meters plus 240 meters is equal to 600 meters. Types of motion. On the basis of the nature of path followed, motion is classified as rectilinear motion, circular motion, oscillatory motion, etc. Okay, we'll see what is rectilinear motion. What is rectilinear motion? The motion in which a particle moves along a straight line is called rectilinear motion. Circular motion. The motion in which a particle moves in a circular path. Okay, it is called circular motion. Next, what is oscillatory motion? The motion in which a particle moves to and fro about a given point is called oscillatory motion. Example, simple pendulum. Okay, see, these are the motions on the basis of nature of path followed. Okay, on the basis of number of coordinates required. Okay, so based on the number of coordinate, again motion is classifying as one-dimensional motion, two-dimensional motion and three-dimensional motion. Okay, we'll see what is one-dimensional motion. The motion of an object is considered as one-dimensional if only one coordinate is needed to specify the position of the object. Okay, only one dimension, only one coordinate is needed to specify the position of the object. It is called one-dimensional motion. Okay, in one-dimensional motion, the object moves along a straight line. In this type of motion, there are only two directions in which an object moves, and these directions are specified by plus and minus signs. Okay, what are the two directions? Backward and forward, or upward and downward. Okay, for example, a boy running on a straight road. Okay, so we'll see what is two-dimensional motion. Okay, from the name itself you can say the motion of an object is considered as two-dimension if two coordinates are needed to specify the position of the object. For example, a satellite revolving around the earth. Okay, so what we need two coordinates, x and y coordinate, to specify the motion of a particle. Okay, so next we'll see what is three-dimensional motion. The motion of an object is considered as 3D or three-dimensional if all the three coordinates are needed to specify the position of the object. In this type of motion takes place in three-dimensional space. For example, butterfly flying in a garden, or motion of a kite in sky, okay, motion of aeroplane, etc. So what we need here in three-dimensional motion, three coordinates are required. All x, y and z coordinates are required. Okay, we'll see what is displacement. The change in position of an object in a particular direction is termed as displacement. That is, the difference between the final and initial positions of the object. Generally, it is denoted by del x. Okay, denoted by del x. Mathematically, it is represented by del x equal to final position x2 minus initial position x1. Okay, see, x2 is final position, x1 is initial position. We have three cases here. If x2 is greater than x1 means del x is positive. If x1 is greater than x2 means del x is negative. If x1 is equal to x2 means del x is 0. So what we can say, displacement of an object in motion can be positive, negative or 0. Displacement is a vector quantity, we know very well. Why? Because it gives both magnitude and direction details. Okay, see the same example, students. A scooter is moving from point A to B and return back from B to C. What is the displacement here? Okay, so what is the displacement? 360 minus 240. So what is the position? Final position is C, initial position is A. So what is the difference value between these two positions? Okay, 120. Okay, see, imagine this is your 0 meters starting point and this is your final point. Okay, so what is the displacement? 120 meters. Students, we'll see what are the differences between displacement and distance. Already you have studied in 9th standard, but anyway, we'll see one more time. Okay. Distance. Distance is the length of the path traveled by a body while moving from an initial position to a final position. Okay, we'll see what is displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between the initial position and the final position of the body. Okay, second difference. Distance is a scalar quantity because it won't give any direction. Displacement is a vector quantity. Third point, distance measured is always positive. It doesn't have negative or zero values. Okay, displacement can be positive, negative or zero depending upon the reference point. Total distance covered is equal to the algebraic sum of all the distances traveled in a different directions. Okay, then what is the total displacement? The net displacement is the vector sum of the individual displacements in different directions. Fifth point, there is always a distance covered whenever there is a motion. It won't be zero at all. Displacement will be zero if the body comes back to its initial position. Okay, it can be zero. Then sixth point, what is the SI unit? Meters. Displacement also, SI unit is meters. Students, what is speed? The distance covered by an object divided by the time taken by the object to cover that distance. Okay, simply how we can say speed equal to distance traveled divided by time taken, isn't it? Speed is a scalar quantity. The speed of the object for a given interval of time is always positive. Okay, so what is the SI unit of speed? Meter per second. Okay, so we can say what is uniform speed. Okay, if an object is moving with a uniform speed, it means that it covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Okay, so when you will say an object is moving in a uniform speed, an object takes an uniform speed when it covers equal distances in equal interval of time. Okay, then what do you mean by variable or non-uniform speed? If an object is moving with non-uniform speed, it means it covers equal distances in unequal interval of time. Simple. Okay, equal distances in unequal interval of time. Okay, what do you mean by velocity? The rate of change of position of an object with time is called velocity. So what is rate of change of position? Displacement. Okay, so change of position means displacement. So velocity equal to displacement divided by time. See, velocity is a vector quantity. What is the SI unit of velocity? Meter per second. Okay. So what do you mean by uniform velocity? An object is said to be moved with uniform velocity if it covers equal displacements in equal interval of time. Okay. Then what do you mean by non-uniform velocity or variable velocity? Equal displacement in unequal interval of time. Is that clear to you? Variable speed and variable velocity I have given you in separate slide. Look at here. What is variable speed? I will repeat this. An object is said to move with variable speed if it covers unequal distances in equal interval of time. Okay, or you can say equal distances in unequal interval of time. Okay, in two ways you can say. Okay, and variable velocity, unequal displacement in equal interval of time, or equal displacements in unequal interval of time is called variable speed and variable velocity. Okay students, now we'll see what is average speed and average velocity. You have already studied about it, but anyway we'll see one more time. Average speed, it is the ratio of total path length covered and the total time taken. Okay, so average speed equal to total distance covered divided by total time taken. V average equal to del x divided by del t. Average velocity, so this is your ratio, again average velocity, total displacement divided by total time taken. Okay, So V average, see we have a direction detail V average vector. Okay, so this vector will gives you the direction of displacement, and del x vector divided by del t. Okay, average speed of an object is greater than or equal to the magnitude of average velocity over a given time interval. Okay, the last slide is what are the difference between speed and velocity. Okay, speed is referred to how fast an object is moving. Velocity refers to the rate at which an object changes its position. Second point, speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. Speed is the rate of motion or the rate of change of position. Velocity is the rate of change of displacement. Okay, what is the fourth point? Speed is thus the magnitude component of the velocity. It will give you only the magnitude, whereas velocity contain both magnitude and direction components. Okay, and we'll see we have the definition: speed equal to total distance divided by time taken, whereas velocity shortest distance covered divided by time taken. Okay, then unit is kilometer per hour. Here it is also kilometer per hour, but kilometer per hour, like 60 kilometer per hour, it won't give you any direction, whereas here velocity 60 kilometer per hour in east direction something, it will gives you along with the direction details. Students, what we studied in this video, some basic terms which is related to motion. Okay, so what we studied, what is motion, what is a point source, what is a reference point, frame of reference, okay, and uniform motion, non-uniform motion, and difference between speed and velocity, distance and displacements. Okay, so we have studied some basic concepts, basic terms which is related to motion. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.